Welcome. There's a kind of loss that can be hard to name. It is not always death. It is not always one clear goodbye. Sometimes a person is still alive, still somewhere in the world, but no longer reachable in the way they once were. And sometimes loss doesn't always arrive alone. One absence can make us notice others. A friendship that has changed, a family connection that has grew quiet, a place where we no longer feel we belong, a future we had quietly expected. Several losses can gather together even when none of them has any clear beginning or ending. This has been on my mind recently, and I'm not going to make this a personal story or ask anyone to take sides in one. I want to look at something we can approach together. How to recognize loss without assuming that everyone experiences it the same way. It can happen through distance, silence, conflict, addiction, shame, a family relationship that slowly goes quiet, a friendship that becomes less frequent, then less easy, then somehow becomes part of the past without anyone saying so. And because there is no single ending, we may not recognize it as grief at first. We expect grief to arrive with an obvious event, a death, a breakup, a door closing. But some losses arrive gradually. Geography creates a distance. Time makes a distance feel normal. Then one day, perhaps while hearing a song, returning to a place or sitting in a quiet room, the meaning arrives. Something has changed. Something important is gone. That later response does not mean you did not care before. For some autistic people, including me, difficult news can arrive in two parts. First, there are the facts. Then, later, there is the emotional meaning. The mind may understand what happened straight away, but not yet understand what it means. The feeling may take time. It may need quiet. It may return through memory, routine, or a connection that was not visible in the moment. So a delayed reaction is not the absence of feeling. It can be the sign that processing is still happening. Sometimes grief does not look like tears. Sometimes it looks like reflection. Sometimes it appears in waves, long after anyone else has assumed the event is over. There is a grief for the dead, but there is also a grief for the living. A grief for a person who changed. A grief for the future you imagined. Grief for conversation that may never happen. Grief for a relationship that once mattered, even if it could not safely continue. This is sometimes called ambiguous loss. The pain for someone being present in the world but absent from your life in a way that does not have a clear resolution. Naming it does not fix it. It does not mean the relationship should be restored. It does not ask us to deny why distance became necessary. It simply makes room for the truth. Something mattered and something changed. Quietness is not indifference. A delayed reaction does not prove that an event did not matter. And no system should force closure, prescribe forgiveness, or decide that a relationship must be repaired. Sometimes the better questions are simpler. What was lost? Is this person gone, distant, unreachable, or changed? Is the pain about this person themselves, the unfinished relationship, or the future that disappeared with it? Has the meaning of this arrived later than expected? There may not be a clean answer. There may not be a guaranteed resolution, but it can still help to recognize the grief for what it is. Not dramatic, not wrong, not late. Real. Thanks for listening. This is Oddly Robbie.